Good to see ya. So we'll get started. I can see myself. I don't know how close to get or not. So thank y'all all for logging in for field orientation. We've got some things to talk about as far as what you want to do as far as your field education process starting in about a month. So school right now is still planning to start the 24th, I think, is our first class day. The first thing that I need to talk to y'all about, as of this morning, Jill Woodruff opened up the TK20 portal so that you can access the MSW AGP or Advanced Generalist Practice application. So the first task that all of you have is to complete that application. When you look for it, you can go to our webpage and find it, or I have learned that if you Google search with these terms, it will also take you there. If you will Google search TAMUC TK20 social work, it will take you to the correct portal. If anyone goes in and just Google searches TK20 A&M Commerce, it takes you to the Be a Teacher portal and not the social work portal, and you buy the wrong one. So,
They still there?
yeah. So please make sure that when you open it up and you get into TK20, that it tells you at the bottom of the page, social work. That way you know you're in the right application format. It costs about $120. It's a one-time purchase. You don't have to purchase it each semester or for the next 7 years. So it's good for that time period. You will complete that application, upload a passport style photo of yourself, and make sure that you submit the application once you get it completed. You can work on it and close it and go back to it, and it'll stay there until you submit it. But I can't access what you've done until you click submit. So that's the first step that you need to take. Within that application, you're going to talk about what you've done as a BSW. Everybody on this seminar right now should be an advanced generalist practice student seeking full-time start for fall 2020. That way I know you have a BSW. You understand what field is about and what's going to be expected of you, and you'll be moving forward in the process to become an advanced generalist practice student and do the application the correct way. You're going to give me 3 agencies that you're interested in. You're going to do 2 things. You're going to give me 3 populations you're interested in and 3 agencies you're interested in. I've not had opportunity to see where all of y'all are from. I know a couple of you because you went here for your BSW. The rest of you, I don't know. So I don't know what's available in your area. What we're going to do is you and I are going to have to work together. You're physically where you are, so you know what's in your community, you know what's around. If you find an agency that you're interested in and that you want to work with, you need to email me information and a contact at that agency that I can talk to. I can tell you that with all the pandemic crap that's going on, it's very difficult to cold call an agency and get somebody to call me back or talk to me about taking students. So you are going to be the sort of the boots on the ground person if you're in an area that we normally don't have contacts in. If you wonder about what agencies we have, you can go to our website on the left, on the School of Social Work website, on the left-hand side of the screen. There will be a form, there will be a list. One of them says PDF forms. If you go there, you can click on a link that will take you to an alphabetical listing of agencies or a listing of agencies by city. And you can look at the agencies that are currently in our system and approved. Dallas, Fort Worth, Northeast Texas, Southern Oklahoma, we've got a lot of agencies. Outside of that area, we don't have a lot of agencies that we commonly work with. That doesn't mean that you're not going to get a field placement just because we don't currently have one. It just means that we have a little extra work to do between now and the middle of August when we get this set up. So step 1, TK20 application. Step 2, start thinking about an agency or a population that you want to work with. And if you find one on that list, you can put it in your application. If you find one in your community that's not on that list, you need to email me and I will send you a link or a connection to a form that we can get to that agency so they can become affiliated with the university. An agency has to be officially affiliated with us before you can start earning hours and working with them. Now, as an MSW, Advanced Generalist student, I counted earlier on the list that Janice sent me, and it looks like there's about 19 of y'all who are looking at full time. I don't know how many signed in here for this.
There were 17 or 19.
Okay, but Brenda's here and Marcella's here, so that takes 2 away. Okay, so we've got most of y'all here. Some of the list that Janice sent me didn't have some people listed as full time, but if you're wanting to go to field starting in the fall semester, that means you're seeking full-time enrollment. So from the early orientation, you should have 3 academic classes and a field internship, Social Work 554, that's part of your fall semester. Now we're going to talk a little bit about hours. So in the past, normally we have a student has to do 240 hours in the fall and spring and 160 hours in the summer. I say that to tell you what things have been like before this year. Y'all are coming in at a very different time as far as what accredited programs can do for hours related to field internship. At this point, CSWE, the accreditation standard folks, have allowed us to reduce the number of hours that a student needs to complete by 15%. So we take the number that CSWE gives us, which is 900, reduce that by 15%, and that gives us 765 hours. Then we move and take away from that 765 the hours you completed as an undergraduate. So the minimum required hours as an undergrad is 400. So that leaves you with 365 clock hours that you have to complete between start of fall and end of May. So end of spring. So that's 183 hours between fall and spring. Our program requires that you take 9 semester credit hours of field. Historically, we've done it across 3 semesters, but because y'all are allowed this reduction, you can do it in 2 semesters. Fall and spring are the required semesters to do 183 hours across each of those semesters. In the fall, you should enroll in 3 semester credit hours. Then in the spring, you should enroll in 6 semester credit hours. And I'll work with Janice on getting all that in your degree plans so that she understands. We typically call that a block placement, and that's sort of what y'all will be doing. You'll be doing everything in 2 semesters, so it will work out for you. That averages out to a little more than 12, it's about 12 and a half hours a week if you take the start date and go all the way through the typical December end date. Now, I don't know yet what our university is going to do as far as when our final date will be.
It's the academic calendar.
Yeah, so
It's December 11th.
So, okay, so if it's still December 11th, then that's the amount of time you have to complete it in. So if you take out that week of Thanksgiving, that probably makes it about 12 hours a week on average. I'm not at all saying that everybody must complete 12 hours each week. I'm saying that you have to complete a number of hours each week so that by the end of the fall semester, you have 183 hours completed. You make your own schedule with your agency. You figure that out between your life and field. Then you replicate that. You don't change agencies. You come back in the spring semester and you do that again, 183 hours. We want you to stretch it out enough so that you're there until at least the week of Thanksgiving. We make a commitment to these agencies that our students are going to be a part of the agency and working with the clients. And we don't want you just doing, 40 hours a week and finishing up in 5 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is. So plan on stretching it out and making it last from whenever you start until at least Thanksgiving. Now you can stretch it out and keep going all the way through the end of the semester. And understand, these are the minimum required hours. That in no way means that you can't do more. Typically our students are asked to do 16 hours a week on average to get to that 240 mark. So getting to 183, if you do a few hours extra, that's sort of the social work value that comes out in you, that you can do something for other people. You can volunteer a little bit. The hours do not transfer from one semester to the next. So if you get 183 this semester and then you add on 20 more, that doesn't take 20 off the spring. Each semester is of its own count. So what you do in the spring, in the fall, remains in the fall, and then you have to do 183 in the spring. If any of you are placed at an agency that needs you for whatever reason, for continuity of care or continuation of services to clients, whatever you want to call it, across that break, across the winter break, Christmas, New Year's holiday, we typically start back around the middle of January. So we're talking a whole month in here at least that students are not enrolled in school. If your agency sends me an email or sends your field liaison an email that says that they would like for you to remain on for that period, then we can approve that. It has to do with insurance and coverage. But because you're going to be enrolled in the fall and you're re-enrolling for the spring, you have a continuum of insurance coverage through our university as well. You don't have to. It is not something that I'm asking you to do. I'm just telling you ahead of time that you can do that if all systems are correct. If any of you are employed and you would like to do field at place of employment, that under that same left-hand column where those PDF forms are, you go to MSW student forms, and you will find an application there or a request to do field at place of employment. To meet that, there are 2 real clear standards that have to be met. Basically your paid job can't be your internship. So for instance, if you worked at, say for instance, Terrell State Hospital. Terrell State Hospital has lots of different units. They have a forensic unit and they have a geriatric unit. Say you're employed on the geriatric unit, well, you have to go to another unit to do your internship. Your paid employment may not count as your internship. It has to be a separate learning environment. And the person who supervises you in your paid employment may not supervise you for field. So if you can meet those 2 caveats, the easiest way to do it is print out that form and add a job description. Here's what I'm paid to do, and here's the job description for what my internship is going to be. If you can meet that, then we can make field at place of employment happen for you. Now understand, it happens, not often, but it does. If something happens to your job and you're doing field at place of employment, typically you lose your field placement as well. So we've had students in the past that they've gone through reduction in force, or they've had new administration come in and made changes and they didn't approve it. So just, I don't have any say-so in that. That's between you and your employer making out this deal. I just approve that it meets CSWE guidelines. So how you work it out, how you work the hours out, that's between you and your employer. Hopefully if anybody does it, it doesn't wind up where there is a situation where you lost your job or something happens in your field employment that impacts your job. So we can make it work out for you. I'm sure there's some of you that are needing a placement that is flexible in some way. There are not very many night and weekend placements. There are some placements that after a period of time, they will allow you a little more flexibility in when you can come and go in the agency. But basically you're a stranger coming in, so they don't just let strangers come in and be by themselves. There has to be a training period before that can happen. I did get an email this morning from the Dallas County Probate Court. They are seeking folks for the internships there. Those are the most flexible placements we have. You go in for an orientation and training about how to do court reports for guardianship cases in Dallas County. Then the agency gives you a set of cases that you have to go out, do the home visits. I think now they do it a lot by phone, but you have to do all the work involved in setting up the court report, and then you complete the court report and turn it in, and each one is worth X number of hours, so that in the end, that's how you earn your hours, is by completing the reports. You do it on your own time, whenever you call people, nights and weekends, ever how you set it up. It is the most flexible one we have. So if anybody's interested in that, it's Dallas County Probate Court. So hour-wise, we don't really know if due to COVID, if there's going to be new changes come in the springtime. So the information I'm giving you is all valid for today, right now. The plan that's been in place about the hours has been in place since the end of May. There's not been any updates since then. So I look that maybe if something changes, it will be well into the spring before that happens. But any of you that are entering in the program understand that the system that we're entering you in under right now has an end date of May 31st, 2021. So that means that this 765-hour number, which equates back to y'all to 183 hours a semester, that program ends May 31st. If you haven't completed field for whatever reason by May 31st, then you revert back to the 900. So you have, instead of 365 hours for a total MSW field, you have to do 500 hours. So those extra hours will be added on to anybody that doesn't complete by May 31st. So that's something that we can talk about via email or individually if you've got concerns or questions. But under the number of hours we're doing right now, y'all are doing fewer hours than anybody's ever been asked to do. So the opportunity to do it is in this window between start of fall and end of May, which fits nicely with fall and spring semester, which gives it 2 semesters to complete all your field hours. That would give you summer 2021 to prepare for the comp exam and all the other things that you have to do to wrap up your MSW degree and get that done by the end of the summer or in August. So, but field would need to be completed by May 31st. So I need to make that very clear for everybody so nobody comes back and thinks it's different. All right. That's basically what I've got to tell y'all. I get everything else off of your application from TK20. I don't start working on your internship placement until I get that application. So I don't really give it a due date as much as I give it it's your life date, so you figure out how quick you want to get it to me. When I get it, I start working on it. I'll start on them on Monday. I'll be in the office on Monday and I'll start looking at them and see who's all are there. When you go in to buy TK20, it takes them 24 to 48 hours before they activate your account. So make sure you give yourself time. You know, if you want to get it today, if you need to wait until August 1st for a payday, that's fine. You know, that's what next, not this weekend, but next. So that next Monday, I could look for it. It's totally automated. You go in, type it in the portal, and it figures it out. So if you have problems with it, you can email me. I can't fix them, but I've got contact with the person who can fix it. So we can make that work. All right. So now I am totally open to questions. Anybody have a question?
Yes, this is Amanda Brackens, and I have a question for you.
Okay, Amanda.
Initially, I started out as full-time, and then went to part-time. So I had already purchased the TK20 and completed the application. So I know you stated that it's a one-time purchase. Do
Yes.
I need to sign in and resubmit and redo the application, or how?
Yeah, you will, Amanda, because those that never get processed, I don't know what happens to them, but I don't have it anymore. It's not on my system anymore. So yours would come in with all the new people. So you don't have to buy it again, but you just have to re-log in and do the application that's up there now.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Anybody else?
I have a question. My name is Sade.
Okay.
I would like to know, I know that the completion of the application is totally up to us. As you said, it's our life, but are we competing for a certain number of slots for particular placements?
Well, that's the reality. I mean, if everybody wanted the one I talked about, Dallas County Probate Court, as the applications come in, I look at them, and when I look at it, if somebody, if Amanda, who just asked the question, said that's what she wanted, there was 3 slots and I had 3 people and they get placed in them, then that one's closed.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I don't know that it's much competition as it is just the reality of there are a finite number of spots out there in this world based on the number of students. And you're not just competing against each other in here. I mean, if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, there's UTA and UNT, TWU, and TCU, and all those other programs that are also placing students for fall.
All right, that's a good thing to consider. I didn't even consider that. Okay, well, thank you.
Uh-huh.
Hi, Ms. Rod. This is Wanda Powell. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was just listening to you say in reference to the TK20.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we have to purchase that before we start. Once we complete this orientation right here, if it's feasible, then we'll just go ahead and purchase it and then fill out the application and then submit it to you. Is that what I'm getting?
Yes. Once so TK20, the application you're buying, or the program you're buying, you will use it for the rest of your internship. It's where you will input your learning plan, all the hours that you complete. It's where your evaluation will be done. So the application piece is the starting point for it, and then you will use it for the rest of your academic career while you're earning your MSW.
Okay, so basically you're going to be putting all our, like when we go to our internship, all our hours and all that information will be documented into it.
All of that will be input into this program, and the person at your agency, wherever you're placed and does your evaluation, they will log into it and evaluate you in the TK20 portal as well.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? All right, well, y'all have got access to my email. You can email me at any time. I'll check emails today and tomorrow, probably not so much Saturday and Sunday, but I will be in the office on Monday morning and ready to look at whose applications are there and start the placement process. So what'll happen next, once I get your application and I get it completed and it's submitted, I will read them, each one of them. Then if there's something that I consider questionable or need some feedback to you, I'll get in touch with you. I will then contact the agencies that you've listed, unless you've listed one that's not yet affiliated with us, and then I'll be in touch with you and we'll work that out. But what happens is, as we move towards the start date of the semester, you'll see your application get approved. You'll see things happen on the TK20 portal, but then eventually, it typically is after the semester starts before you get access to your TK20 binder. That's the part you'll hear people talking about next. But I have to make sure everybody's complete before we submit the binders. So step one is application. Then I work on getting you placed. And then we send out links, or you'll get an email that will tell you your application's been approved or you've been considered for placement at agency X, Y, or Z. And that process will be next. Something popped up on here.
To the chat,
I don't know. It just a white screen
to
came
the
up.
chat.
It didn't have anything in it. It's just black. It's just a white screen. It's gone.
Right here. Oh, just they were just sharing things.
We,
All right.
we
Well,
can,
that's all
we
I
can,
really, unless y'all
yeah,
have.
in the meeting, we can see the two of y'all peering into the screen.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
looking to see
Yeah.
if there's any chats
We're seeing
there.
there was chats on there, so I have to get my glasses to see that close. Okay. All
Hey,
right.
can y'all?
I heard you a little bit.
Yes. Okay, cool. Hang on. Okay, my audio's messed up. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. I did the BSW program in 2017. Will my 400 hours still count from
Yes.
2017? Okay, it said 2019 on there, so I was just making sure that,
Well,
3
I'm
years.
just saying 2019 and back, as long as it wasn't like 20 years ago, we're good.
Okay.
17's a good year. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. Also, I was having trouble logging on. So first thing, you said the 3 populations we're interested in and the 3 placements. Is that
Yeah. 3
Okay.
specific agents, names of agencies and populations. So it's going to ask me, it asks you where you want to be geographically, what populations you want to work with, and what are 3 agencies within that meet geography and population.
okay? And that's on the application on TK20, right?
That is correct. Yes.
Excellent. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I think that's it.
You bet.
Okay.
All right. Anybody else?
Yes, I have a question. My name is Isaac, and my
Okay.
question was, I already I work at an agency right now, at a nonprofit organization, but we have different branches here that I can like go to try to get the hours at. So that's when I need to fill out the placement and employment form. Just email it back to you.
Well, no, Isaac, what you'll do is you'll complete it, and at the very bottom of the TK20 application, you'll upload it.
Okay, and so, but even if I know I want to do my hours here, do I need to do the still put the another 3 sets of agencies too?
Nope. If you know it and you know it's going to happen, you just put the one. You just put the one in there.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, that's all I need. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
All right. Anybody else? All right. We're going to close out.
It's recorded, so once I get it done, we'll upload it.
Okay. All right. Thank y'all. Bye.